Second time recording this. Yeah, not only have I got a bit of a chesty, bunged up thing going on. The car broke down. The bill's going to be pretty big, and yeah, we're going to get a new prime minister that nobody has voted for. How does that even work? How does it even work that we're supposed to have a prime minister in charge of the country that nobody voted for? Like we vote for the party. Well, some people voted for their party, but 80% of Canadians want an election. 90% want an election. They want to go to an election. Yet these goofs are still playing around, playing the old leadership role thing when we should be going to an election.
So proud of you. Go get him, okay?
Go get him. Nobody wants this.
Hi, Burlington! Bonjour tout le monde. Merci pour être ici avec moi. My name is Karina Gould, and I'm running to be the next leader of the Liberal Party of Canada.
No, please, no, not this one. Okay, let's see what she's got to say. Let's see. Question.
Just to follow up, do you think there's room in this leadership campaign to talk about issues besides Donald Trump and what you think those are?
Yeah, there has to be. There has to be. Look, this is obviously, Donald Trump, and tomorrow is a big day for the world, right? With President Trump's inauguration. But that's not the only thing going on. Canadians are still struggling. They're still struggling with the cost of living, with housing, with rent, with food. Those are things that are so important. We still have important work to do when it comes to reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. We still have important work to do when it comes to fighting climate change. We still have important things to do when it comes to protecting who we are and our Canadian values. And
Didn't her previous boss get rid of all the Canadian values from the passport? And didn't he talk about how Canada doesn't have a demographic, or doesn't have a thing anymore because it's too diverse? Didn't he talk about stuff like that? I think he did. I think she's talking out of her fafoofy. Oh. Okay, so this is the absolute crazy nuts thing that she says in this speech that she gave. Listen.
so when I talk about rebuilding the party, I'm talking about hearing from Liberal members, party members from across this country.
There's going to be no party to rebuild. This government, this Liberal government, is going to get a no party status, or if anything, just a handful of MPs. They're going to get voted off the planet.
Who have important ideas, who have a vision for who we are as a country. We need to have those policy debates. We need to hear those ideas, because that's what makes the Liberal Party so great. And we have to make sure that we are hearing from people right across the country. And so we might not have any members of Parliament in Saskatchewan right now, but we have members of the Liberal Party of Canada, and their voice matters too. And we need to make sure that the Liberal Party of Canada is not just based in some regions in the country, but is a truly national party where we hear from everyone. Because by rebuilding our party, by having those great policy debates, we're going to put forward the best ideas for Canada. And so I'm excited to re-energize, re-engage the membership so that we can keep building our country.
Keep building the country. They've absolutely destroyed the country. We got to start from scratch again with Poilievre. We can't have these guys come back in and win another 4 years. That would be so disastrous. They would just be like Poilievre said, they're all like Trudeau. So she does say something good. She talks about the country and Canada being under threat. Yeah, Canada is under threat. It's under a big threat. It's under the threat of another 4 years of the Liberal government absolutely destroying the country. This is what she said. The context is different, though.
When the rubber hits the road and he's asked to stand up for Canada, he immediately says, oh, but not everything is on the table. I'm sorry, when your country is under threat, everything is on the table because every Canadian matters.
Exactly. Every Canadian matters. Everything should be on the table, but not through these guys. She's talking about Poilievre, but we're talking about the Liberal government. We already know what 10 years has done to the country. Yeah, we need a clean slate. We need a clean start. We need to get rid of them. As for Freeland, well, her speech didn't go too well now, did it? I know a lot of you have already seen this, so we'll just do a couple of little clips.
I guess.
So they asked her why did they think there were protesters at the Freeland thing, whatever you want to call it.
Ms. Freeland, thank you for taking my question. Ahmed El-Bayoumi with Corner, and I do hope moving forward we can have more opportunities to ask questions. We haven't seen this at any other campaign launch, not at Ms. Gould, not at Mr. Carney's. Why do you think you're being singled out by these protesters? And is there anything of substance that you can say to their concerns about the government's response to the war?
Thank you for the question. I do want to say I am really grateful that we live in a democracy. I am really grateful that we live
Unless you drive a truck, that is.
in a country where everyone can express their view and where everyone has the right to protest.
That's a lie. Why is she lying? Not everybody has the right to protest. Only certain demographics can protest. Others, not so protesty, favourable-y.
That is an amazing thing about Canada, and it's really important that people can disagree with each other and that everyone can state their view. It's also the case that the right to protest doesn't include the right to disrupt other people's right to speech. That is also essential about Canada. We cannot allow protest doesn't mean drowning out other people's voices. That is entirely unacceptable. That is not how Canadian democracy works.
How does it work? Does freezing bank accounts and cancelling insurance, is that the way to push democracy?
And I know that Canadians are not going to stand for that, and neither will I.
Well, I don't believe anything that she's selling. I'm guessing nobody's believing anything that any of these snake oil salesmen are selling, or saleswomen, or salesperson kinds. But, yeah, we'll see. And we'll see whether or not the election goes ahead. Well, not the election, whether the appointing of a new Prime Minister without the agreement of the country goes ahead. Because the argument about all the proroguing of Parliament has been upheld, and we're going to get a decision on that soon. So if you want to know about that, go to Northern Perspective. They have a great video on that. Anyway, see you on the next one, guys.